In today's video, I'm running some of my pre-war Lionel trains. I have quite a few pre-war Lionel trains, and I typically don't run them. Typically, they're in storage. I have a few out in display, but typically they're stored somewhere in boxes. But today I got at 4 trains. I only have 4 loops of track on my layout, so I got 4. I selected 4 of my pre-war trains to run. I don't consider myself a Lionel collector as such. I consider myself a train collector. I belong to and have belonged to the Train Collectors Association at TCA for over 45 years now. And I love trains, and I love to collect model trains, and I don't care who makes them, whether they're HO, N gauge, G gauge, O gauge. I got them all, and I just love my trains. So, but today we're running some pre-war Lionel trains, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Before we get on with the video, just a quick tutorial about couplers. Most of you know this, and I'm probably preaching to the choir, but there may be a few people who watch this video are not really aware of the different types of Lionel couplers. Everything made after World War II had a knuckle coupler like we see here, and these are replicas of what's on real trains, real railroads. They're just much larger in relation to the car than they would be on a real railroad. This is an 027 car. It's a Baby Ruth box car. It's actually my first box car, my first Lionel box car that I received in 1952. But anyway, but prior to that, early on in Lionel's history, and Lionel started making trains at the turn of the century, 19th century. Actually, it's in the turn of the 20th century, in 1900. They just had regular hook couplers, like you see here. Little hook. This car here was from 1918. It's a Lionel car from 1918. Little hopper car. But eventually they went to what they call the latch coupler. And this is a car with latch couplers, and basically what they did was they put the couple of cars together and latched them. So it was what was called a latch coupler, and it works pretty slick. To me, they're a pain in the neck, but you know, they work for years. And then in the late 30s, they came up with what they called the box coupler, and it's a box coupler right there. You see it. It's very similar to the latch coupler, but it's much easier to couple. And the latch coupler and a box coupler will couple together very simply. But anyway, what I'm showing today in this video, this pre-war video, most of the cars and locomotives have latch couplers, but there are a few with box couplers, and they do mate together. So that's the coupler story. My layout is a post-war layout, but today I'm running pre-war trains on my post-war layout. I have 4 loops on the layout, so I selected from my collection 4 pre-war trains. On the inside loop here, we have a 225E. It's a very nice locomotive. It has a die-cast tender, good runner. A great looking locomotive. And behind it are several tin cars of the 600 series. They all have box couplers. And the next loop is my favorite pre-war train, and it's probably the nicest train I have in my collection. It's for as old as it is, it's near mint. But it's a 238E. It's a model of the Pennsylvania Railroad Torpedo. It's a Streamline K4. And these are the original cars that came with the set. For size reference, but not running today, is a 226E. Right there. It's on the storage track. And then on the outside loop, I've got a 262, which is from the early 30s. It's a tin locomotive. The other steamers are die cast. And this comes with some 800 series cars, which are bigger than the 600 series cars. This would have been probably from about 1933 or 34. And then on the upper loop, I got a 027 set. I got 3 passenger cars, the silver and blue passenger cars. These are the non-lighted version, the for the cheaper sets. And then I got the little 027 model of the Commodore Vanderbilt locomotive, newer essential Commodore Vanderbilt. I'm getting tongue-tied. Vanderbilt locomotive. It's 1689E. Well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.